I have another treat for you. This is one of my clients. I call them clients, right? Customers, friends that I met online, and she is going to talk about her hair journey, which led to her Sisterlocks journey and other things. So if you're interested in knowing what this young lady has to say, keep watching. Okay, so Debbie. Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Hey, Renee, I'm doing well.
Good, good. Your hair is gorgeous. I mean, it
Oh,
is so pretty.
thank you so much.
Yes, yes. So tell me, let's jump right to what it looks like now. What did you do to it for it to look so pretty?
Um, I used the argan oil collection, the whole thing. I used the shampoo, the conditioner, the oil, and the spray. And I
Oh,
and
okay.
also I steamed it as well.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow. It is, I mean, it looks so beautiful. And of course, that's beautiful hair products, right?
100%. 100%.
All right, all right. It looks gorgeous. It really
Thank
does.
you.
So, Debbie, I want you to share with our audience, like, how did you come to Sister Locks? But start from when you were a little girl, right? So, when you were a little girl, like, did you have hair issues? Who took care of your hair, and what led you to Sister Locks?
When I was little, my mom, she, would do my hair and everything. But I quickly learned that in order to be pretty, you needed to get your hair relaxed. So
Mhm.
it was straight, how everybody had it straight and pretty and, long. So that's what got me into getting a relaxer. And then my whole relaxer journey, it was okay until, in my adult years,
Mhm.
just it just, you know okay, yeah, when I would get my hair done, I felt like I had to live my life a certain way. I considered
Oh.
myself to be a regular exerciser, and when I would get my hair done, you'd stay in the salon for hours,
Uh-huh.
spend the money, you know what
Yes.
I mean? And then you couldn't be out in the elements too long. I mean, if it was too hot or whatever, muggy or whatever, your hair would just, well, if you decided to go exercising or something, walking, and then come back, your curls were gone, and it may
Mm.
have sweat out. And then what I would do is I'd have to let it dry, and then I would take my flat iron and curl it again, and that dried it out,
Yeah, yeah.
and you didn't have the hairstyle that long, and I would just, after so many times of that,
Mhm.
like, you're not even being able to hold on to your hairstyle, or you'd have to live your life a certain way, meaning, okay, oh, I can't go outside for the next 3 days, or I gotta,
Oh.
stay out of the, elements for the next couple days if I really want to keep my hairstyle, and I just didn't like that because I would pay attention to, Caucasian women who would have their hair out and they could do anything, like they could exercise, and it quickly do their hair after. And I'm like, well, why would I have to, just do all this special stuff to maintain a hairstyle? So I started, searching for other ways, and I would see people with natural hair,
Mhm.
and it wasn't that many people who wore their hair natural, but
Now, where are you from? Where was this at? What part of the country was this?
this Maryland.
Oh, in
Oh,
Maryland. Okay,
yeah.
okay. So when you said the elements and what, so like, what is the weather like? Is it humid out there? Is it, you
We
know,
we get all the seasons,
okay,
we definitely feel all the seasons. But
okay,
I just, when I say the elements, I mean like when I was in school,
okay.
because I was a walker, meaning if you're within 2 miles of your school, you didn't get on a bus, you had to walk.
Right, you walk.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that was all schools, like my elementary and middle school. It was,
Okay.
I had to walk, and so
Mm.
I couldn't even get on a bus, to even hold my hairstyle. Like I could feel it as I was walking to school. It would just start falling. It would be
Really?
pretty before I left. But then by the time I would get to school and I look in the mirror, it would just be so disappointing, you know.
So how did you wear? Was your hair okay? So go back to your childhood. So was your hair? Did you have problem hair? Did you have long, thick hair when you were little? Did you
It was
have?
a medium length. It stayed a
Okay,
medium length above my shoulders typically, you
okay,
know.
okay. So you didn't have, and did your mom press your hair? Did she keep it natural? How did she?
We had a straightening comb, I would
Okay,
get it straightened sometimes, you know.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and then I would get the curls, but then by the time you walk to school, it
They
was
drop.
gone. It was gone. And you want to, I remember back then, you're taking me back.
Yeah,
And you want to look pretty because for the guys and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I just didn't have it. Like my hair would just by the time I look in the mirror about after I got to school, the curls were gone. So
Really. So
yeah,
did you have Afro puffs or it was just straight? It was just straight
bushy. It
or
turned into
bushy.
like a bushy. So a lot of times I would have my mom because every time I would ask her to braid my hair, like
Uh-huh.
if she would braid it back or something,
Yeah.
I noticed that I look nice with my hair off my face. So I
Oh.
would ask her to braid it back, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, and one fond memory is every time I would ask my mom to braid my hair back, she would never say no. I mean, no matter how tired
Oh,
she was. So
yeah. Oh.
yeah, that's just a loving feeling I have for my mom.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
I mean, anytime I would ask her to braid my hair, I don't care. She sometimes she would look so tired and worn
Uh-huh.
out. She would find the strength. Like,
Really?
come on. Yeah, she would always do it.
That's
Always.
beautiful. That
Yeah.
that's beautiful to hear that. That's wonderful. That's a great memory.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So after you got to school and all, how did that affect your confidence? Did that affect your confidence the rest of the school day
I
or
didn't
how did
feel
you feel?
pretty. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel pretty, because other girls, people who were able to catch the bus or whatever, it seemed like they didn't have that issue like I did.
okay.
So it would have to be a perfect weather day for me to still look good after I got to school, like my hair held the style.
And like what grade you say? So like cuz I mean when I was little girl, I didn't even pay attention to my hair. I didn't like
Yeah,
especially the
sixth,
fourth
seventh,
and oh,
sixth or
sixth and
seventh.
seventh grade. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
sixth, seventh,
that
and eighth.
yeah, that's that age where you really start, yeah, start paying attention to the way you look and all that.
Right,
That's
right,
true.
right, right. And
Okay,
then
so go ahead.
then I got a relaxer, like
Okay.
eighth, ninth. And
Okay.
then going into high school, I had a relaxer, and that
Uh-huh.
went well, just getting your relaxer. But then when I started getting into the work world,
Uh-huh.
um, I don't know, this side was thinner than the other
Okay.
side. And then I found myself asking the lady who was doing my hair at the time to add a piece here because so it could match the thickness of this side.
Oh,
It was thinner on this side.
okay. Okay.
It just I didn't feel like I got to a point where I didn't feel like I was getting, what I wanted out of the relaxer. Like it just didn't seem
Okay.
like it was really doing my hair any justice, you
Mhm.
know. And I noticed people at work, this one girl at work, she wore her hair in a natural state, just natural, and it looked, I mean, sometimes it would look good and sometimes it didn't, but what I saw in her was just a carefreeness about her.
Okay. Mhm.
And I started researching it, and I found that was going to be good for me.
Okay. Okay.
And I told my girlfriends, I said, I think I'm going to go natural,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to let my relaxer grow out I had to wait some months because you want to get that new growth.
Right.
And I found a salon that was a natural salon that was going to do it.
Uh-huh.
And I kept saying I had this much, this much
Uh-huh.
new growth. So I
Uh-huh.
could get the new growth and just start there. And everybody I shared that with told me not to do it.
Oh, that
You
in
know,
terms of not going natural or to
yeah,
cut, because you would have to cut that perm off,
yeah. They
right?
said don't cut all your hair off.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I was over it. I was
Yeah.
over it, and I'm
Uh-huh.
glad I didn't feed into that. But
Yeah.
no one supported that.
Really?
No one supported that.
Okay.
But I had my mind made up, and I did not share that with my husband either. I didn't tell
Really?
him, because I just felt like everybody was gonna just tell me not to do
Yeah,
it. And
right.
I'm like, hey, is he gonna divorce me if I cut all my hair off? That's crazy. I said, that's crazy if he does that. So
Right.
anyway, um, I ended up cutting it all off. I went to the salon. She cut it all. I told her I just wanted it to be natural. I don't want to transit, because a lot of people were transitioning.
Yeah.
They would still keep their relaxed hair, but
Mhm.
and I just wanted it all natural.
Mhm.
So it was a short, but like a little
Little
fro, like
buzz cut. Yeah, they
yeah,
call that when you do the cut it all off
a
oh
big
my god,
chop,
the
the
big
big
chop.
chop.
Yes,
Yeah,
the big chop. So you did the big chop.
yeah, I did the big chop.
Did
You
you
know,
happen to take pictures or record it at all?
sure I could find a picture, somewhere. Yeah, it was
Okay.
short. It was short. It
And
wasn't like to my scalp, but it was not much there.
okay. And how did that make you feel when that hair, when you saw all that hair on the floor?
I
How did that
felt
make
good though. I
you
felt
did?
good that it was gone, and because I had to grow that out. So I was just saying, every time I had some new growth, I was like, look,
Yeah.
but it was, when I went and got it done, I expected to be longer than it was. She had to cut
Oh.
more than I thought.
Oh. Okay.
But
She
that
had
day
to or she did?
she did.
Why? Why did she
She
cut
was, yeah, she was experienced now. He said she told me I had to cut more. I don't know why. Maybe I had underestimated where the relaxer stopped.
so you
I
weren't
thought it was
happy with the length that she left
it
you?
was short, but I was
Okay.
so happy that the relaxer was totally
Cut
gone.
it
Like,
off. Yeah.
yeah, I was so
Okay.
relieved, and I was hungry after that. So I went to a food court. Like, I went to, like, the closest mall. I was
Yeah.
starving, and went to get something to eat. And I was just like, I got to figure this out, because she said, go learn your hair. That's the next step. She said, you need to go learn your hair. That's what she told me.
Your stylist told you that?
Yeah, because
Oh,
you have
okay.
to experiment with, this is, you're used to doing your hair while it's relaxed,
Mhm.
but now you got to learn your hair all over again,
Yeah,
because
that's true.
it's natural. So she
Mhm.
said, go learn your hair. So I was sitting in the food court trying to figure out, what am I going to do, and all of that. And I looked up, I happened to look up, and it was somebody, it was a guy noticing my hair, like the way he was looking at it. That was
Uh-huh.
my first interaction with you know,
With somebody.
it was a good thing, because I
Oh,
just didn't, I was like, hey, this is all new to me. I
yeah,
cut all my
right.
hair off.
Yes.
And that was a pleasant reaction. So I was like, I'm
Oh,
good. I'm good.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Mhm.
because
And
I
so
was,
when you got home, did your husband didn't say, "I want a divorce"?
no, he didn't,
Yay.
he didn't.
What was his reaction?
He was surprised. He was surprised. But
Uh-huh.
I think, as I went about my life, when we would be together, somebody would always compliment it though. He
Okay.
may not have said much,
Yeah.
but my son and my husband, anytime my son said, it seemed like every time we go out, people will say that they like your hair.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, it was good, and it was just my natural hair. And that was, it really brought up some hurt feelings deep down inside. And when I say that, is because I never thought that I could be pretty with natural hair.
Really?
I was just convinced that I needed a relaxer,
Mhm, mhm,
but I was I just took that step and went natural, with my
mhm,
natural hair.
mhm.
And who knew? Like, I
Yeah.
could actually be out in the elements. I could exercise no matter how hot it was,
Mhm.
and come in the house, and it would just be my natural state. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing.
So what was your hurt feeling? What did you have hurt feelings about?
Because I never thought that I could be pretty with natural hair, but I
Really?
was.
Yes.
I was. I mean, I would get so many compliments, just
And how
anytime.
did you feel though? Even though people gave you compliments, how did you feel on the inside?
I felt good. I felt
Did
so
you?
free, and
Okay. Did
like,
you feel pretty?
I felt pretty, like, and I didn't have to be concerned about my hair.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
could do whatever it wanted to do,
Mhm.
and it would still be fine.
Okay,
It was
great.
really, it was a good experience. And what made me feel hurt was because I wish I would have done it sooner, or
Oh,
I
yeah.
never knew that I would be pretty with natural
Mhm.
hair.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So I did
Wow.
that for a good 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, but and my go-to style was they call it a wash and go,
Okay. Yeah.
and it would be I was so good at doing it, but then it just takes a lot of time.
Okay.
It's so time consuming because you're washing it, you're conditioning it, you're deep conditioning it, and I would get under a heat cap and do it and then dry it. It just took a long time, and I did it every single week. And it just,
Oh,
to the point where it was a bit much, but then I wasn't getting, and I came to a conclusion that I'm not getting out of it what I'm putting in. And what I mean by that is it just would stay the same length. It wouldn't
okay.
get
Okay.
it just wouldn't. And I think it's because I chose to wear my hair in a wash and go, because
Mhm.
people who are natural who had the length told me
Mhm.
I needed to start wearing my hair in plaits, like plaiting it, because
Oh,
that's
like
how you
blowout.
retain. Well, yeah, or just plaiting, keeping it in plaits, keeping it in just single plaits, just plaiting
Okay.
it down
Uh-huh.
and just wearing it like that. Wearing it plaited.
Oh,
Just or braided down or plaited down
okay.
and wearing it like that as a
Mhm.
style. And that's just not me,
That's not you. Yeah,
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 I don't want
okay.
to wear my hair plaited down like
Right.
that. But people who had
Right.
the really long natural hair just kept their hair in plaits. And then whenever they wanted to go out somewhere special, they took the plaits out, and then it would be
Okay.
so pretty and long. But then
Right.
quickly that night they'd have to plait it back up. I mean, just to
Yeah.
keep that length.
The length, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
that's the
liked my hair in the wash
shrinkage.
and go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the shrinkage. And believe it or not, the shrinkage, even though we don't like the shrinkage because it just like woo, just shrinks up. That is an indication that your hair is really hydrated and healthy.
Yeah.
Right now, you
Yeah.
see hair that's supposed to be natural, but some of the ends are really straight and there is prickly looking and it just look, tatted at the end. That hair is damaged. But
Right.
when you can have all of your hair shrink up and it has that coil, that's gorgeous
Yeah.
virgin hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it doesn't appear to be long, but when you stretch it out, it's like double the length.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the
Wow.
texture because that's what I
Okay.
had. It was texture. And
Okay.
that's really what I wanted, the health of it.
Mhm.
But I wanted to get the length.
The length, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I would often go to, not really often, but like maybe every 4 to 6 months to get a trim,
Uh-huh.
the stylist would always cut way too much. And then like you say, the shrinkage. It just
Oh, yeah.
I could
Yeah.
never get the length I wanted.
Okay.
And I think it's at the end of the day, it's because it couldn't get the moisture it needed, with it just
Okay.
being in a wash and go all the time.
Okay.
And I
Right.
wasn't willing to braid it down.
Mhm.
And
I would think you would braid it and for to stretch it. And
right.
then the next day you would take it down and that's the braid out. So then it would have that little length.
Yeah,
But then
a little bit more
yeah, a
length.
little bit more length. But then the stylist would cut all the new length, the new growth off because she
Yes,
would cut too much. So yeah, it was like a vicious cycle,
it
right?
was.
Yeah.
Was. And I decided to find another stylist,
Oh, okay.
and I had a consult with this stylist, and I told her all the issues I had with this other stylist. And she's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I don't do that. Oh, this and oh that." And I let her cut my hair, and it was just it was horrible. She didn't do it well.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And I had to call her the next day and told her like I don't understand where was the miscommunication here. It was just too
She
short.
cut
I
too
ended up
much.
yeah,
Oh,
too, and she cut it in layers too. And I didn't want that.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to end up letting that grow out. So I got to a point where I didn't like myself in pictures or whatever, and I started wanting to look for something else.
Mhm.
That was in
Mhm.
my mind.
Yeah.
And then a couple other girls that I used to work with, they would talk about sister locks. 'Cause I used to work in DC, and a
Uh-huh.
lot of women in DC have sister locks,
Uh-huh. Right.
and sometimes you see ones that look really good and sometimes not so much. I didn't know what the difference, like why doesn't hers look as good as this one? I had no idea. But the girls I worked with, I would go to lunch with them and they
Mhm.
would talk about sister locks all the time.
Okay.
That it wasn't anything that I was interested in, but they talked about it an awful lot.
Okay.
But I don't know, what ended up happening was I was the one who ended up getting sister locks and they didn't get them. They didn't
Oh,
get
so
them.
what did they have? What did they have in their hair?
One girl had dreads,
Okay. Okay.
and she ended up combing hers out because she was missing the relaxer or whatever, so
Oh,
she
okay.
went back.
Oh.
And the other girl, she wore wigs, she wore wigs, but
Oh,
she just
okay.
said that she wanted sister locks so she could wear it under her wig. I don't get that either.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, lo and behold, I was the one that ended up getting them.
Really?
Yeah, I ended
So
up getting them.
do you see those young ladies? Do you see those ladies?
Well, they don't work. We don't work together anymore.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
sometimes we'll touch bases with each other, and they both say that they love my hair. They both say,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Isn't that something? That haven't moved them though to do it, huh?
No, no. I guess that you get stuck into your own,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
thing.
Wow, that's awesome. So what led you then? Okay, so you say you were on a search, okay, at this point. And so tell me a little bit about your search and how you ended up, with Sisterlocks.
Wow. I went to a photo shoot when I turned the big 50.
Okay.
I wanted to get these pictures done, and of course, I was not where I wanted to be size wise. But I was like, hey, whatever, I'm just going to
Yeah,
go and
you're
get
very,
it
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted them to do my makeup, instead of me doing my makeup. So I paid a little extra to get my makeup done.
Right.
Well, the makeup artist had her hair, it wasn't sister locks, but she said it was called. I said, what is that in your hair? And she said, I think she's called it micro locks. I think it was
Micro
micro
locks.
locks.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked so nice on her.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I asked her if she wouldn't mind sharing, who did it, and she gave it to me. She gave me the contact person, and
Okay.
and I followed through and I called the person. She said she's real professional, and I called her and made an appointment. And sometimes, I realize people are just in your life for just a brief moment,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate her sharing that. I didn't see her again after that,
Oh,
but
okay.
it led me to this person here. And I'm so glad that I ended up with her because these were real sister locks. I've heard some, little horror stories on
Yeah.
YouTube. Just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that I found someone that was good, you know.
Authentic
Y-
consultant.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I just went for a consult, and she charged $50 for a consult, and she said if you come and I do your hair, I'll take that off your balance or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And she just put some sample ones in the back of my head, and she told
Mhm.
me, she was so busy, and I got to clearly see that the sister like consultants, they're very busy, very busy.
Mhm.
And so she couldn't schedule me for an install for like 3 months down the road. I
Oh,
mean,
wow. What is that all
yeah.
she did? Was she full time doing Sister Locks
Yeah, she
or?
was full time.
Oh, okay. So she
Yeah.
must have been good then. If she had her books booked up like that.
Yeah, yeah. And it was supposed to be January, of it was 21, January
Okay.
21. But they was that day, I was looking forward to it. But
Uh-huh.
they was predicting like a major snowstorm on that day.
Oh, wow. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was gonna happen. It was like 100% chance, so we had to reschedule. And I couldn't
Mhm.
get into another month after, so I had to wait a whole nother month,
Oh
for
my
her to get me in.
goodness. Wow.
Yeah, and then she, only did the whole 8-hour shifts thing. So it took 3 days, because
Okay.
she only wanted to do 8 hours. But then that scared me to death because I'm like, what if she has an emergency? Like, what
Yeah.
if she does my hair and then has an emergency? That's what kept going on in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
And now I got half, and then the other half is, you
Right.
know, and so thank gosh, she came every time, and
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
everything went well. Everything went
good.
with that.
Now, does she work out of her home or out of a shop?
It's a salon suite.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
salon suite.
okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Now, tell us now, take us on the journey to, products. Like, have you used any other products before you came to Beautiful Hair Products? Like, what led you to BHP?
Products. I was one of those ones that was told not to put anything in my hair.
Okay.
I think it was the first 2 weeks, don't put anything in your hair because I had to come back for her to check it and make sure
Mm-hmm.
everything was going well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so scared to do my hair. I
Yeah.
was just scared because you had to braid and band,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and with the little it was how you look when you first
Right.
get it. My thoughts, me, was like, you pay over 1,000, for your hair. Like mine's is about 1,100,
Okay.
and it just looks so thin. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I hope I did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And the only compliments I got were just people who knew about Sisterlocks.
Yeah.
Some people
Mm-hmm.
who that you in the market, they know that what you have, and they
Yeah.
say, "Oh, that looks really nice."
And
But
did they say trust the process?
yes, trust the process. Trust the process.
Right, right.
But I ended up getting into a not so good habit of just going every 6 weeks to get my hair done and not doing my hair. Like I
Oh.
was, I was just scared to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just let her do it every 6 weeks when I got my retie.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got to a point where that was the norm. But then, once it got closer to 6 weeks, it needed to be washed. It needed to be some I needed to get some tender loving care to my
Yeah.
hair,
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
And I got to a point where like I need to do my own hair, like, and I would have conversations with my Sister Locks consultant, just that can I come in the midway, or can we work one on one? Can you show me how to really do my hair? And
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed that I think it was just she was just busy, and it
Okay.
was just something that she may not have been interested in doing, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I picked up on those clues, like
Uh-huh.
maybe one time she would do it, but it was kind of like she wasn't anxious to set up another appointment,
Yeah.
for that,
Uh-huh. Right.
for a
Mm-hmm.
style, because
Right.
I wanted her
Mm-hmm.
to help me style my hair
Oh.
and work with me to help me do my hair, because like I would go on YouTube, and it was a lot of the young girls who were very talented,
Yeah. Yeah.
or they would have such long pretty hair. They've already gotten past any not they just was really good at it, and then they
Mm-hmm.
weren't slow enough that I need like slow. I need slow and
A
easy.
tutorial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need you to really work with me and help me with my hair, help me
Uh-huh.
build some confidence,
Yes. Yes.
you know and I just started looking on YouTube, and you would come up sometimes,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and I just thought that you were just super friendly, and
Uh-huh.
warm,
Uh-huh.
WARM, warm, and you would always say hello. And I mean, the way you would teach or talk, I mean, it was in a way that I'm like, hey, I think I can learn from this. I think I can
Mm-hmm.
really get something out of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then like I told you, I wanted to start doing my own hair, and I would have those conversations with my stylist, my Sister Locks consultant.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what do you, because I didn't know what products she used either. I asked her,
Okay.
what do you use? She said she makes her own. And I said, well, what can I use? What can I use to shampoo my hair? What do you
Right.
recommend?
Uh-huh.
And, she said Head and Shoulders.
Oh,
She told me Head
okay.
and Shoulders. And so I just didn't rush out to buy that.
Yeah.
I just kept it in my mind, like, I
Okay.
guess eventually I'll do that, but I just didn't. I guess it didn't feel right in my spirit to get that, so I didn't.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But then, when you came up, you had some, the beautiful hair products and how
Mm-hmm.
natural they were. And you would always say, it's specific for sister locks, you know? And I
Right.
was like, wow, something specific for sister locks and it's natural too.
Yes.
That resonated with me. Like it's
Mhm.
natural and it was good stuff. And
Mhm.
so I went on the website and then you talked about steaming and then you talked about even showing and it was more of a teaching and natural standpoint is what drew
Mhm.
me to the Beautiful Locks Club. I'm like, I know I can learn and it's natural,
Uh-huh.
and I know that I'd be doing something good for my hair. And I could see that it was a goal of mine to be able to start doing my own hair.
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't like the fact that I was waiting every 6 weeks to, oh, that was the only time I did my hair, that
Mhm.
needed to change.
Yeah.
And I could
Right.
see that if I, became a part of the club, I could make that change. It
Mhm.
was a pathway forward for me,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know,
Wow.
that I could make a move and not be
Yeah.
scared and, or not be uncomfortable, because what I was finding in my search, it just wasn't matching up to what I needed.
Right.
So
Right. So do you find wow, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, as you were talking just now about needing someone to actually help you with your hair. So like when we were growing up, and especially because you're younger than I am, right? So in your age group, in your age range, a lot of mothers that was, your mother's age and stuff, took their little daughters to the salon and got the perm. So a lot of women, when I was actually actively doing hair, a lot of women were so pleasantly surprised about the texture of their hair because they hadn't seen the texture of their hair since they were little girls and they did not know what to do with their hair. So a lot of them ended up with sister locks. A lot of them came out of the perm. So your story resonates, I'm sure, with a lot of women your age. Um, is that when you get that perm cut off, because it's almost like, okay, that like you said, I mean, your story is classic in terms of women that end up with sister locks that are now in their 50s and 60s, is because it's like, this is it. I mean, I've had enough. And so it's like, now what? Right. So then they discover sister locks, and that's like the next best thing to slice bread, right? Because your hair can grow out, it can get long, it can get
yes.
healthy,
Mhm.
and whether you wear it curled or straight, it still looks good. And the best part is your own hair,
Right. I love that.
you know?
I love that. Yeah.
So do you find that? Have you met anyone else that had like similar stories to yours in terms of not being pleasantly surprised of their own textured hair?
Yeah, definitely. I also have friends who they like the look of natural hair,
Mhm.
but a couple friends may say like, well, that's how yours looked, like I
Okay.
don't know that my hair would look like that, and that's
Yeah.
and that hurt me too because that's like that's God, that's this is how our
Your
hair is
text.
supposed to be coming out of our
Right.
head.
Right. Right.
So for
Right.
you to say that looks all right on you, but it's not going to look good on me,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that hurt me because you're denying yourself.
Oh yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like you're denying your own self. You don't think
Mhm.
that you would look good. I mean,
Yeah. That's comparison. We're always comparing ourselves with somebody else, you know. And you probably have the curly coily like a 3A or 3B type of hair, right? And so someone that have 4B hair or 4C hair like me, of course our textures are so different, but they're beautiful. My texture is beautiful to me, your textures, and that's the beauty of sister locks, because it's a unique hairstyle based on your own texture,
right,
you know,
right,
and
right,
your own density and all of that, and
right,
I was
right,
talking to another lady and she was talking about how her hair had come out, from her hair being too tight. She had like traction alopecia, but it takes time sometime after you come out of the perm, and a lot of scalp and hair damage. It takes a toll on your hair. And if we're patient enough, our hair will grow back, you know, and that's
Yeah.
the beauty of just letting your hair be, let it be, let
Got it.
it be.
You got it.
Right. So now that you have Sister Locks, and since we met, when we first met earlier this year, I can see your hair has grown a couple of inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, because it was more like up to here when we first met. Now it's
Yeah.
going down here, and it's just so beautiful. It looks hydrated, it looks moisturized. So tell me, what is the best part of using beautiful hair products, and the steaming and all that? What has changed for you since coming into the beautiful hair products family?
I like this. Well, the steaming, it feels good. It's you are treating your hair, a little bit special,
And
because
you do have a steamer, right?
I do,
Okay, okay,
um, and I love the sprays and oils. I use those mostly.
okay.
I'm still working on my regimen.
Mhm.
I want to do it more. I feel like I've done better, much better
Yes,
where I
yes.
was.
Mhm.
But what I use all the time are the sprays and oils.
Okay.
The sprays, I'll lightly spray my hair, and I'll put the oil on, just kind of
Uh-huh.
squirt it on top a little
Yeah.
bit, and
Uh-huh.
put a scarf on, and you don't have to leave it on that long, and take it off. And if you have flyaways, they're gone. Like, you have
Okay.
no flyaways. They
Okay.
just lays down.
And which oil do you use the most to tame those flyaways? Which one?
I like that thick castor. That's
Okay, the
my
lavender
favorite.
castor.
I
Yes.
use them all, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I like that thick castor oil. And I like the rose water spray. I really like that.
Uh-huh.
I also like the argan oil spray. Um,
Okay. Mhm.
but I use them regularly.
Yes.
Regularly. Yeah.
Okay. And then for your shampoos, like, what do you use for that? Do you or have you adopted the water washing technique?
Yes, I did. I did, and I only had to wash my hair with two washings. Now, you understand that I don't wash my hair every week. I wash my
Right.
hair typically a little bit over 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, the one time is not going to do it for me. I need to wash it.
Right.
But I mean, the last time I washed it before this time was it took 3 times. So this time, I think I learn a little bit more, and you glean a little bit more as you do your own hair. So
Right.
I washed it. I looked at my watch. I gave it 5 minutes of a water washing, and
Okay.
I
Okay.
closed it. I made sure it was really done. Drenched.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Right.
and I massaged my scalp, and I just made sure it was wet. And it
Right.
only had to wash it twice. So the second time, I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, wow, I got suds.
Yeah.
And I just kind of kept squeezing my hair, and I saw the suds come down further and further.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that's a plus. I only had to wash it twice this time.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like
Okay.
every time I do my hair, I find it improves. The whole
Right. Right.
technique improves. So I just have to stay with it, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. So now going to because I know you went to the Steaming Your Sister Locks challenge, and in that challenge you were so engaged. I just really, you were so motivating and inspiring to me, right? And so when I offered, the package, which included the Embracing Your Beauty
Hmm.
affirmations program, I had the content, but I hadn't even organized it or anything. I just know that God had put that in my spirit to start offering that to women because of what it did for my life. So when I offered that in the offer, during the steaming challenge, you immediately said, I want that. So my
Yeah.
question to you, is why did you say, yes, I want to do that? Like, what what was your reason for buying into that program, and then how have that program enhanced, I know, your confidence, or whatever it has done for your life since, coming into the umbrella of Embracing Your Beauty and, beautiful hair products?
Um, we're all evolving,
Yes.
as we age, we're all evolving.
Right.
And I love a good motivational speaker. I love doing better. I love that's just me. I just like to, do better, and
Self-improvement.
yeah, self-improvement,
Yes. Okay.
and when you talked about affirmations, I just thought that with my hair, I mean, and with my life, I could see that, if I had said those things, or just incorporated them in my life, it would just be an enhancement. It would help. Like
Mhm.
one motivational speaker was like, he had mentioned that he would just play this thing. It was just affirmations. He would play it in the background as he was
Uh-huh.
getting ready for work,
Oh.
and he just noticed that he was ended up just doing better, like just making things happen, and but
Mhm.
that was before you offered that to me, and when
Oh,
when you
okay.
offered it, I was inspired by with him saying that, and it just
Okay.
kind of, when you offered it, I was like, wow, that sounds something like something that I can do. And what I find with the affirmations is that you can incorporate this in a busy life, in a busy
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Mhm.
It opens up each week, so
Yeah.
you read one, you let it marinate with you, as you go about your week, you can
Mhm.
you can meditate on that, and what comes up in your spirit,
Mhm.
if something negative comes up, you can write about it in a journal,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and deal with that,
Mhm.
whatever it is, because if you want to be better, or just evolve, as we age, you want to evolve in a positive way, or just
Mhm.
then we can deal with those things. We can deal with those things, and because you're journaling, you can always refer back and read. But
Wow.
it was a win-win. It was a win-win for me,
Right. Right.
it was a win-win. Just
So I know that, I just released it and got yours. And so it's on schedule. I know how God told me to put it together in terms of dripping out the affirmations every 7 days. And so in today's attention economy, right? That may be slow for some people, but you just confirmed that you can meditate on what the activity is, what the affirmation is, and really allow it to, like you
do
say,
its work.
marinate into your
Yeah,
spirit. And if something comes up, because see, a lot of times we think that, oh, I know myself. When I'm 50 years old, I know myself. I know what makes me tick and all that. But just look at all the life experience that we've had, that we have not sat down and just really meditated on our noun thoughts at 50 or over, right? And
exactly.
this program is for anybody, but I find that women that's 50 and over, really, like you say, we're in our golden years and we want to be the best version of ourselves for the rest of our lives. And people like you and me, we want to have vibrancy in our lives. And as you get older, yes, your jaw start drooping a little bit, your breasts are going down to it's the gravity is taking us, right? But if we recognize that we have lived a half a century, and for those women who have birthed children, God allowed us to carry a human being in our lives. So, yes, our body is going to be stretched out a little bit, right? But that doesn't have to stop us from being the best person we can be now at 50 and over,
That's
right?
right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
just like now, especially us that have grown kids and are kind of like experiencing the empty nest, it's our time now. It is our time to focus on us.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
100%. 100%. And I think, I know this is not about you, but I'm gonna throw
Yeah,
some
no,
compliments
it's
your
about
way
you.
because
It's about you.
yeah, you have so much energy about you. You have a
Uh-huh.
lot of energy about yourself, and you're all about health and wellness. And you're such an inspiration to me.
Mm.
Yeah, and I just think that that's a beautiful thing,
Oh.
for people to aspire to,
Mhm. Mhm.
um because a lot of people think that when they get a certain age, it's all over for them,
Right,
you know.
right.
But you have a lot of energy about yourself, and I see that in me. That's how
Yeah.
I want to be. You
Mhm.
know, and I'm not too far behind you. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
I
right.
mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
have
you
to be
are.
the
You
end of.
my baby sister. I'm 61, girl. What are you just 54, 52?
I'm 55. I'll be 56 soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, girl, where at? You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
But
That's
yeah,
awesome, Debbie. That really is. I mean, for you to, because I mean, it's so many women your age, my age, that are literally, they look 30 years older because of their lifestyle, their thought process. That's why the affirmations are so important, because we have to really, it's so much negativity in the
that's
media,
right. That's
right?
right. Too
And
much.
some
Too
of us
much.
have very dysfunctional families. There's always negative talk. So you have to block out all those voices and affirm yourself, in
That's right.
any environment. So it's so let me tell you, let me ask you, how do you take the time to get your affirmations in, the activities? What is your regimen like with that, or your routine?
Well, I look forward to the ones opening up when it opens
Okay.
up. I'm like ready, and I'll read it, and I'll just sit quiet. Read it and sit quiet and see what thoughts come up, what feelings come up,
Mm,
and I'll write the ones that are positive are great, but the ones that are negative is what I need to deal with, because
okay.
the negative is what holds us back. I feel,
Yeah.
it's going to
Mm-hmm.
hold you back. But if you want to move forward, you have to deal with that and reconcile and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are struggle for me, I may write out and let it. And if I don't write it out right away, that gives me a day or two or
Yeah.
three to, as I go about my week, to think about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And think about, how can I move forward with this, or how
Mm-hmm.
can I make this better, and and it's all about your own time and energy, and
Right.
what you can do,
Right.
so to
Right.
take a step forward, you know.
And see, that's where the transformation comes.
Right.
The transformation in our thought process, how we feel about ourselves. Because, like, I know that, oh God, I know this is all God, right? Because so, everybody knows me about the Sisterlocks, right? But I know that even if we get our hair beautiful, even if we do whatever we need to do to get our hair the way we want to have it, we still, if we don't feel good or even understand what makes us tick, what our thought process are, if we have what I call stinking thinking. Our hair, we start looking at our hair and wanting to change our hair. That's a lot of people color their hair because they're not satisfied with how they look naturally, right? So when, like you say, when you deal with some things, and you have to be ready to grow, you know, affirmation, this program will help you to grow emotionally, spiritually, financially, relationally, because you have a lot to look forward to as you keep going on this journey, because this affirmations program deal with all of that. So
Wow.
it improves the total woman, and so I love how you are taking the time literally to meditate on it, think about it, and then journal about it, and then deal with some of the things that you may have an issue with. That's the whole idea of this program.
All
And
right.
that's what helped me to get out of my darkness, because I've created that thing. God created it through me to help me pull me up out of the muck and mire, right? And at the time that I wrote it. And so, you don't have to be in no muck and mire really to get into it. But for some that's really that really need a boost, this is perfect for them. And
Yes.
then some people that just need a little boost or want to think better or different or grow, it's perfect for them, So at the time in your life, what is it doing for you? Are you in a dark place, or are you just what is it doing for you?
Sometimes I feel stuck, in my life, just stuck, can't move forward in some things I may want to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that this is helping me to break down some stuff, so I
Okay.
can move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow, that is so good. All right.
Good.
So Debbie has just came into the world of the mother load is beautiful hair products, right? But then we have Beautiful Locks Club, and as a result of her being in the Beautiful Locks Club, she was introduced to the Steaming Your Sister Locks Challenge, and in that challenge is where we introduced the Embracing Your Beauty program, and so she's in all of that. And so Debbie, you have any encouragement, any last words to give to our sister friends that may be watching this, um, that will encourage them to seriously, look at their lives and see if any of these things would be helpful to them?
I mean, I would suggest you give it a shot. And the reason why is because whatever you feel like you need out of the program, I feel like you're gonna get that plus more. Like I feel like I got more, when in joining the club. I mean, you build relationships,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to learn. I mean, Renee, she teaches on just about everything, and it's from a natural, holistic standpoint, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a good thing. I mean, you can't lose. I think that whatever you I'm just going to say whatever you come for, you're going to get more out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a beautiful thing. You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
more out of it. You're going to build. If you're not so confident in your skin, one thing that Renee talks about too is if you have hair issues. Some people have hair issues, and she lovingly talks about that and lovingly helps and wants to help you through that. And she does it in a way where you can learn and grow. It's a slow enough pace that you can learn and grow versus it's just too fast and over your head.
Mm.
So I feel like you'll get a lot out of it. I think you should give it a shot. I know she has programs where you can try it for a brief time if you don't want to jump in for the entire year. So it's been great. It's been
Mm.
great for
Mm.
me.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So that's interesting what you just said about it's slow enough where you get to learn, it's not so fast. And so one last thing, I know and I've seen it that a lot of people are doing the great exodus from social media, from social media. I call it the unsocial media. Okay. So, Facebook is wonderful, but like you say, everything is just so sensational. It's a lot of negativity. It's good thing. It's good in all of it, right? But to develop those relationships, like you said, and the privacy and just the camaraderie, and you get to meet other people and people that can identify with your journey because they're on the same type of journey. That's what the club does, you know, and that's what you get when when you're getting in the club, because you're not everything is at a pace where you get a chance to kind of slow down a little bit, and really gain the growth that you want and the relationship. I mean, it takes time to build relationship, and you get to really take time and learn about your hair. Like you were saying earlier, that the stylist said, now you have to learn your hair,
All right.
you know. And so I just know that we living in a fast-paced microwave type society now, and you get to kind of just relax. And so would you say that you like the pace of the posts that I post in the club?
That's good. The
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
pace. Mhm.
Yeah. And the reason I ask that is because I know on social media, they tell you got to pace, you got to post 2 or 3 times a day or every day. And it's like, people can't even really consume that information I mean, they're consuming it, but it's not like it's really, at a pace where you can really just, like you say, meditate on it and really get it in your spirit and really just be able to do it, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And so I'm just excited about this new year coming. We're
Right.
preparing for to build up the community again,
Yeah.
in terms of we're going to have open enrollment real soon. So you'll
Oh,
see some new faces in the community. You're free to even invite whoever you feel would benefit from the community as well.
okay.
Um, and so, yeah, if for those of you who's interested in connecting with a group of ladies that are beautiful ladies from the inside out, and that's on the Sisterlocks journey, that's on a journey that want to be the best version of themselves, and just take a breath, take a breather, have some peace, right? Authenticity. This is the club, beautifullocksclub.com is where you would come. And so we're going to open enrollment again really, really soon in the next week or so. And we would definitely welcome you to the community. Debbie, I really, really, really appreciate your time. I appreciate you. I just appreciate you.
Oh, thanks, Renee. I
You are
appreciate
a breath of fresh air that day when we met on online on Instagram, and it's just been wonderful ever since. So
it.
I really appreciate you coming, and speaking with me, and I know that your story will be an inspiration and a motivation for somebody else. And you have any last words you'd like to say?
No, not really. Just
Okay.
I feel like I feel like I've gotten a lot more out of the club, because I have interest in health and wellness.
Mhm.
And you still get that too. You
Yeah.
still get that too. And that's,
Mhm.
as women, as we age, moving into, perimenopause, menopause,
Yes.
I feel like I'm getting that type support as
Yes.
well,
Yes.
with our hair as well. So
Mhm.
it's, you're going to probably get a little bit more out of it than you thought. And
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing.
And believe it or not, Debbie, the best is still yet to come.
All right. All right. All
It
right.
is still yet
Yeah.
to come.
And that
But
steaming challenge too, when we did the steaming challenge, I
yes.
mean, we went through the ways of helping your hair to grow. I mean, vitamins, minerals, just things that can help our hair grow, things not to do. And then there's a ton of instructional videos as well. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to get a lot out of it. It-
Yes. Oh
It's
my
good.
goodness. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you. You have a great afternoon the rest of the day, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yes.
good. I'll be
All
there.
right. Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Have a good
Bye.
one. Thanks.
You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye bye. Wow, that was such a great episode. I really enjoyed speaking with Debbie, having a great conversation. She is definitely an inspiration to me, and I know that she's an inspiration to you as well. Listen, like the video, make a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. Share your Sister Locks journey with us as well. If you have any questions, put it down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, right? And then make sure you hit that notification bell. What that does is it will give you a notification when we go live or when we post another video. Anything that I do on YouTube, it will notify you. Beautiful Locks Club is especially for you if you want a private, exclusive club based on those who wear sister locks, those who want to be the best version of themselves. We have programs within the club, and of course, you heard Debbie talk about the embracing your beauty from the inside out. It's an affirmations program, especially for women, right? And so come and see what we're all about. We are now opening up registration. It's a deep discount for a whole year. And so go to beautifullocksclub.com, and we can't wait to see you within the club. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you again next time.